Welcome to the Take It Home podcast so bad we really should just take it home. I am one of your hosts, Doc Simmons. You can find me on all the social media at Doc Simmons 17. I'm joined by two lovely gentlemen, the regular crew. I'll give the hot tag to my partner. Go ahead and introduce yourself, homie.
Yes, sir. Zach Hendricks. All social media, Z Hendricks brand. And of course, you can look us up at Country Air Official for Facebook and Instagram, or Country Air Brand at Twitter. And I'll pass it along to the next gentleman.
Hey guys, you can find me at Perch XLV, referee Perch, pound sign for the ref brand, and Waffles Take It Home podcast.
Waffles all around. Busy weekend, so very little breakfast this weekend. Not much time, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But we can start firing how we usually do. Perch, why don't you let them know what the banger of the week is?
Banger of the week. This one came on a long drive in the middle of the night through a snowstorm from Michigan back to Illinois. Had to rely on some deep cuts, some good bangers, some good old-fashioned. See what some of that playlist has brought us to, and this week was none other than the banger, Shook Ones, Mob Deep. That beat
You ain't a
was
crook, son.
needed.
Yes, a Shook one.
That beat was needed. It was mandatory. You know, when you
classic beat.
You just feel that vibe and that comfort inside the car. You know, it's pure chaos outside, and you know, pure death as the cold and the snow is falling down. The absolute chill spot inside the car when you have a song like Shook Ones. Just that atmosphere, that aura, it was needed, and what a banger.
Oh yeah, you can't go Mobb Deep for how gangsta they are. Really gets produced some just good vibe music.
Mm-hmm.
Like murder, drugs, but you're just chilling with it.
This storytelling, good vibing, good just laid back, good flow. I always love that song. When Buddy showed me it many years ago, and we had CDs based off it with other songs around it. Just it sparks a whole era. Just great music, good storytelling, and that vibe.
Yeah, that was good boxing training days for a young Doc Simmons. Good training days. Love training the Mobb Deep. That was a favorite for real. Like that whole album's fire.
That's one of those songs that just personifies why we do banger of the week.
Yeah,
because bangers survive, and you know, songs like that are the bangers that survive.
Definitely. So go ahead and check out that Take It Home podcast playlist down at the bottom. Get you some Shook Ones in your life. Let them know that you're a crook, son. All right. Let's see what we have to talk about with this one. Zach, what you been watching this week, brother?
Definitely watched majority of AEW Full Gear. I haven't watched all of it yet. I'm right now up to Malachi Black's tag match. So far, like, you know, enjoying. I think the opener was definitely like a really good match. I'm a big fan of MJF and the storytelling he does. So yeah, watched AEW Full Gear. I don't know if everyone else has. Figure we usually like all go deep dive into that as a unit. What else have I watched? I mean, I watched Dante Martin get offered to join Team Taz. I'm looking forward to like AEW. I want to say Dark. A lot more familiar faces since they just ran out in Minnesota. I know Adam Grace will be on there. Brandon Gore, guys like that. But other than that, not really much. A very light week.
I know it was kind of a busy week for the actual business of wrestling, so didn't get to watch much. What about you, Perch?
I got to catch that Dynamite from the other week, and that was awesome. That opening match with Rocky Romero against Bryan Danielson. Holy smokes, dude! Great match. Just Rocky Romero been making his rounds. Seeing him at all different promotions lately, And my God, if that guy is just as good as anyone in the world, and
Highly underrated.
he opened the hell out of that episode of Dynamite. Great match between the two of them. Was in the hotel at one point this weekend and caught Impact Wrestling, was awesome. And Rocky Romero was in that one too. Just, put up another banger. Good matches. The one that I really enjoyed from Dynamite was the tag team match with Lee Moriarty and Matt Seidel against Lio Rush and Dante Martin. That uneasiness of that Dante and Leo tag teamship, the partnership. A guy like, Lio Rush, it's almost like he's got his own intuitions or his own motives. So it's curious to see how this story ends up playing out. It's great. It's got me hooked. In that moment where there was a tag, it was Dante and Lee Moriarty were starting it off and had the crowd into it, and then they both tag off. And the way Matt Seidel walks right towards Leo, and Leo walks right past Seidel and gets right towards Lee's face. It just it was a great moment, and you see two guys tag out, square off one against each other, and one just blows the other dude off to get to the guy behind him. Like, holy smokes, if that wasn't the most disrespectful thing I've ever seen. And the look on Seidel, a full commitment to going, what the you should be focused on. That was cool. I really enjoyed that animosity in that match. 4 great wrestlers too, people we've gotten to work around and been able to work with, and just a great match, fun to watch. I didn't catch the pay-per-view, but that Dynamite leading into the pay-per-view was damn good. That bloody Hangman with that contract signing, my God, if I didn't go nuts off my seat when I saw Don Callis and the cameraman gimmick. And oh, come on, tell me he had a fake mustache. Oh, he did. He had a fake goatee. I was hoping, and he did. Sure enough, he peels it off. Oh, I loved it. It had me going the whole time. And Dan Lambert slamming Jericho through that table. Oh, I heard people were giving him shit for how bad it was. I saw it and it looked great.
Better than I can do.
Way better than I could even imagine.
I did not watch Dynamite, but I did catch some clips. I did see the contract signing. I will go back and watch that. I am watching the Full Gear pay-per-view right now. I'm at the main event, though I've already been spoiled on results. Been a great show. And if you like the uneasiness of that tag with Moriarty, Seidel, Dante, and Leo, you'll probably enjoy the uncomfortableness of the tag between Malachi Black, Andrade, Cody, and Pat. That was a really good one. Just 4 people who really don't want to do this. Great story told. That opening match, MJF Darby, was amazing. Dan Lambert is entertaining. That's the thing. Like, I think they have some quality managers in AEW. Even Vicky, like, they don't overuse her, which I think is great, because that's, I think, when her screams get annoying, they use her just the right amount. Dan Lambert, Callis, Leo, kind of, like, they have some high quality managers over at AEW.
When Dan Lambert put that, get him on the walls of Jericho. It's the Boston Crab, 1973 UWF Championship Wrestling from Florida. So committed to these managers are just so committed to.
Dan Lambert loves wrestling, and it definitely shows, and I appreciate it.
It's just the best. They put that microphone in his face, and he's just spewing old stats. Oh, yeah, so good.
Love it. But yeah, like I said, it was kind of a busy wrestling week, kind of not. I know we were all kind of running around. So why don't we talk about what we did with the wrestlings last week? Zach, why don't we start?
Yeah, we had one show of Fourth Wall Wrestling. Your mama's favorite tag team, wrestling for the Golden Jackets, taking on what we thought would have been a rough function. But what happened, Doc?
Yeah, Ruff decided to turn tail and not show up. So the master of ceremonies, Derek St. Holmes, decided that we're still gonna have that tag team title match, but it would be first Dysfunction and Bobby Valentine.
Bobby Valentine, yep. Needless to say, they might be cousins, they might be family, it might have been a family affair, with Bobby V, Dysfunction and Val on one side, but when it all said and done, no one can counter Air Buddies, Bears. No one can counter Air Buddies.
Yeah, and I mean, they might be family, but we have matching teeth marks on our butts.
Matching teeth marks on our butts.
Yep. If you saw the Zello Sunday show this past Sunday, you would know what we mean. But more importantly, yeah, you can't beat Air Buddies. Country Air is your new Fourth Wall Wrestling tag
team jacket
champion. Yep. Looking at my golden jacket right now, it is very nice.
Full disclosure, I might have slept in that jacket. It is very, very, sleep with a belt is very hard. It hurts. But like that jacket, super comfortable, super warm.
Yep. Very, very much needed now that Midwest winter is coming.
Yeah. Tito's a big fan of it. I'm just right now trying to collect tag title. My goal is to collect as many tag team titles, not because I want me and Doc to be the best tag team, mostly so I can post pictures of my dogs.
Hey, that's
Allow me to share my pictures of my dogs.
Hey, people like dogs. Get that content out.
Content. And then the rest of the weekend was more of a family stay for me. I have a grandfather. It's my last living relative. He's about 80 years old. Definitely not asking for no sympathy, but just he's not what he used to be. So it was really good to. He was in town. Haven't seen him in a few years, so it was definitely really good to go see him and at least hang out with him, especially because it seems like in a year now he might not remember who I am. So it's nice to see him, but he still knew who I was.
Nice, yeah. Much love. And then Perch, why don't you talk about your weekend, and I'll squeeze in there at some point.
Yeah, this was a fun weekend. Game Changer Wrestling came to the Midwest. They had a Friday show in Detroit, Michigan, and a Saturday show in Summit, Illinois. I was able to hop on the train and hop in with the referees on both shows. Was able to join the three other referees and make it a 4-man roster for the weekend, and kick things off. My first time ever in Detroit. Had to at least stop by the baseball stadium to see the Tigers stadium. And dude, there's tigers everywhere. Statues of big tigers on the stadium and at the concourse. And I mean, it was like the coolest looking stadium I've ever seen from the outside. Tigers everywhere. If you're a fan of Tigers, Tiger Park is your kind of ballpark.
Awesome.
And I happen to be a fan of cool looking statues and
Tigers.
Awesome looking statues.
So it was definitely your vibe.
I loved it. And kick things off Friday night on a pay-per-view, GCW Evil Deeds. Was a great honor to be a part of it. I had a tag team match with Jordan Oliver and is it Nick Wayne?
Yes, sir.
Against the 440 guys. Atticus and Eddie. Good match, back and forth. The fire on Wayne. I think he's only 16.
Yeah, he's super young. He is super young.
Yeah, he's young and just great. Good fire, great fire the entire time. But a fun
talk
match.
About some children doing it. You got him and Starboy Charlie out there.
Yeah. Learning and just, you can tell they're learning the right way with the right people to put them in position to get good opportunities and good reps and learning pro wrestling. It's great and fun to be students right there with them. And then the next match I had on that card was the co-main event of the night, and maybe one of the first, if not the first, all women's death match for GCW. It was a great honor for myself getting to work my first ever GCW death match, and in a moment that I've been trying to put in time preparing for that straw to get pulled one day. And I was well prepared this time around. It was Rina Yamashita against Charlie Evans, in a just as hardcore and extreme as the death match gets. Lots of light tubes, and it ended with a classic Joe Coley fan to the face.
Yep. Yeah. The light tube fans were flowing over the weekend. If flowing is a thing that light tube fans can do.
Oh, it was wild. Just a extreme environment. And that match was an honor. Charlie Evans being from Australia, Rena being from Japan, and the referee from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yep.
Cool to represent. Lots of clips going out for that one. Caution, it's not stuff that I'm going to put up. You can probably find it indirectly through links that I've got, but stuff that's pretty extreme. Which brings us to the next day, which was the Nick Gage Invitational 6. So I drove all the way through the night from Michigan to Chicago, Summit, Illinois. That's where I heard that the banger shook one in a nice blizzard. And upon the arrival the next day for the big pay-per-view for GCW, I ran into Dre, homie, who was there. Doc Simmons holding down the fort. So I making the rounds and coming in and seeing everybody. And oh my God, there's Dre, homie. It's a good day. Give it a good day. Especially with pushing the body and the professionalism that we have to the extremes this weekend. It was great to have family there throughout. So it meant a lot to see you there, Doc, and to have a good brother in attendance. In which it didn't take long before we were both put to work helping build some deathmatch weapons. And
yep. that ICW training coming in handy.
Coming in handy firsthand, directly. Dysfunction has taught us everything we've wanted to learn when it comes to death matches, and it definitely paid off this weekend. Getting to build some Tokyo towers with light tubes with Jimmy Lloyd and Ref AK from Kansas. We were really enjoying taking it all in that weekend.
Yeah.
And Dre kept those tubes flowing. Kept keep that hot buttered corn coming. There's no end.
It's like not a complaint, but Kit Osborne, great to meet you. Good guy. Stop taking my light tubes. I felt very bad every time Jimmy was like, "Hey man, you got any light tubes?" I did. But Kit Osborne put on a banger of a match, so I can't be too upset. But Hobie kept taking my light tubes that we needed for these Tokyo towers.
Dre was the bartender at the light tubes that night.
Yeah,
he had the table, he had the box, he was cleaning them up and had them on flow. He had to go through Doc to get those tubes.
Yeah.
And they were
I became very possessive of my light tubes. I did not know I could feel that way. But I was very possessive of my light tubes. Don't touch my light tubes. Look, if Jimmy didn't send you over here, don't touch these light tubes, all right?
And no light tube got busted in the NGI 6 without it coming through Dre first.
Yeah. Just about. I would be remiss if I didn't mention the homie Derek, who did help with a couple of them and was helping me out over there. but I did do a lot of them by myself.
Oh, it was great. And that was just a wild tournament. All hands on deck. It was survival for everybody. Anybody working it, all the fans, everybody in attendance. It was all about survival. And we did just that. I was able to referee 2 matches. The first one was the opening match on the GCW pay-per-view. A high honor that was not lost upon, reflecting on it. It was Atticus Kogar against Rena, who I had worked with the night before.
And I must say, I love both of their entrance gear. I love the elephant on Rena, and I love the headband with the devil horns on Atticus.
Yeah, it was awesome. It made for a wild atmosphere. The tusks on the elephant horn, or on the elephant mask, the horns on the bandana with the spikes that he puts into people's heads. I went with the goal this weekend to try and understand deathmatch wrestling, more than I already know from the ICW days, but to understand, globally, why it's loved. And coming out of this weekend was able to learn a lot and reflect on a lot of notes that were taken, and figuring out a lot into the stories and the characters and the spirit of the fight and the heart of the warrior, and those masks and those headgears and the ring attire isn't just their flash. Like Dre said, he loved it because those people believed in it. It's a part of their fighting spirit. And pretty badass fucking elephant mask. I must say so myself.
Yeah.
In that kind of an environment, I mean, that just gave me chills. And then the next match that I had was the co-main event, which was the semifinals between Atticus Kogar against the champ at the time, Takeda, another Japanese deathmatch star. Just a great match overall. The 440 guys got involved again, some chicanery, messed everything up the night before, then messed everything up the night after, and from Michigan to Illinois. But a great finale to that one too. Fun weekend, lots of learning, unbelievable opportunities with GCW, working with those referee crews. Holy smokes, that's a good day at the office and a great day of school.
Yes, sir. Much love to the referees, Perch, the Adams, Jerry. Much Wisconsin love to Joe Coley doing his weapon master thing. Thank you to Jimmy for being patient with me. I know you wanted those light tubes a lot faster. I'm doing what I can. Don't want them dusty for you, baby. Shout out to Brett, for putting on an amazing weekend. Shout out to Merle and James and Caleb from Freelance for letting me help out with whatever they need. So I hate going to shows to help out and there's nothing to do. And all those guys gave me plenty to do. So really appreciate that. I'm dead fucking tired, but I appreciate makes the time go by faster. So really, much love to everybody that was at GCW this weekend. The fans who kept shouting my name as I'm just bringing boxes of light tubes to the ring. Appreciate that. Keep if you want to tag me in some GCW posts and say bring Doc Simmons and Zach Hendricks and Country Air to GCW, I am not going to be upset. Keep chanting my name. But overall, awesome weekend. Oh, and I would be remiss to top it all off. Sunday, Zello did post their Any Given Sunday show to Fight TV. So go ahead and check that out. That is still available. Get to see, the homie Ref Perch do his thing in the early part of the show. Get to see your mama's favorite tag team do their thing right after. So go ahead and check that out. But yeah, fun weekend of wrestling. So I think it's only proper with this time of year that we talk about what we are thankful for in wrestling. It's a little early. By the time this goes out, it'll actually be a week before Thanksgiving. But you know what? We can always talk about what we're thankful for. I will talk about what I'm thankful for first. I am thankful for these homies right here. And all the homies at the Thumpers Den. Being from Wisconsin, wrestling, trying to make a name for yourself can be pretty hard. And you have to be committed. And I think to do anything to try to better yourself, at some point you're going to need a team. And I have been blessed to have a great team with a referee in Perch that I can bounce, questions off of a match for how the referee would take it. He'll tell you. I ask him all types of weird questions about, hey, how are you supposed to do? How would you react in this situation as a ref? Because I don't want the ref to look stupid. I want my matches to be as natural as possible. I'm super thankful to have a partner like Zach Hendricks, who is so creative and is so open and wears his heart on his sleeve, and he can be that man on the apron getting y'all fired up. Because that's not me. I'm a cold-hearted killer. I'm just here to take heads and leave. But Zach, he's the one that really connects with y'all fans, and I really appreciate that. I appreciate having somebody like Mav, who's been there from day one, training with me. Coming into a new place can be scary, but Mav came in new at the same time, so it's a lot easier. I'm appreciative for a big guy like Gunner, who can catch me on all types of things when I need to do things I'm scared to do. There are plenty of things that I have done in practice that you guys are never going to see because I'm terrified. I just needed to know that I could do it. But Gunner was there to catch me on all of those, and I'm really appreciative of that. I'm appreciative for a guy like Chucky, who I've had a great rivalry with over these last 3 years, and we've made each other grow. And now he's on the road with all of us, trying to make a name for himself. I'm appreciative for Matt and Frank for giving me these opportunities, training me to be the best wrestler that I can possibly be. I'm appreciative to all the promoters like Marman and Dis and Zeesh and all these guys. I'm sorry if I don't mention you, who just took a chance on us and gave us a chance to shine, and we took the ball and ran with it. Wrestling has given me a lot over the past 3 years, and I am just very thankful. Zach, why don't you talk about what you're thankful for?
Yeah, I'll say I'm thankful for, first and foremost, like without wrestling, I wouldn't be with my girlfriend. So like, definitely thankful for wrestling. Like, probably like with Val for over a year and a half now, and like without wrestling, I probably would never have met her. And if I did meet her, if I wasn't in wrestling, we would not click at all. So very thankful for that. Without wrestling, without Bruce City Wrestling, I wouldn't have my dog Tito. I actually did a fair show for Frank, and the Humane Society was there, and I noticed Val and I noticed Tito. Just his personality and everything was like something we loved, and we were talking about getting a second dog. But again, without wrestling, never would have been at that fair because I really wouldn't have driven like an hour and a half out for a fair that isn't nearby.
Yeah, to the Harvest Festival.
Yeah, it was like wherever the last one was.
Yeah, it was a Harvest Festival where they had the adoption. Yeah, that was Harvest Festival. I enjoy the Harvest Festival show because there is a very good gas station that has like a mini restaurant in it nearby. So I'm always excited for that one.
Oh, see, I didn't know that, but again, grateful for that because without that, I wouldn't have the little boy now. Grateful for every promoter willing to give us a chance, willing to take a chance on me, Doc, just anyone who's like really willing to give a chance to a young guy. And like, I'm grateful for all those vets who are actually taking time out of their day to watch our matches. It's annoying when like you have like people who like you're supposed to go to at, and you like kind of talk to them and try to get a critique, and like, I didn't watch it, I didn't care, and like, all right, like you understand everyone is busy, so it sucks, but like you understand. But the ones who like really like pull you aside, like, hey, let me talk to you, let me tell you like what I enjoyed, but most importantly, let me tell you what you suck at. I really appreciate the ones who tell me how much I suck, tell me what I suck at and what I need to improve on, because without them, like I wouldn't have been a better wrestler. I probably would have just been stuck in ways and not getting booked or getting out there as much as I was.
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt you. Just want to thank Ricky Marvin. I happened to stop by his seminar this past week while I was in Chicago grabbing shirts, grabbed the new Doc Simmons We Slap the Meat shirts, but very appreciative of him for giving me some serious critiques on some simple stuff.
Ricky Marvin. He had a seminar at where at?
In Galley. Yeah, while I was down there picking up shirts, I saw the post and I was like, hey, I got my stuff in the car.
I don't blame him. I would do the same. Yeah, like thankful for all those like Brian, like at CCW, like Nelio and all them like taking chances on us, like kind of letting us come down to Nashville more than once, stuff like that. Zishi like taking us to Florida. Now we're his tag champs. Without him, like I probably still never been to a WrestleMania in my life. So thankful for all that. Thankful for guys at camp. Bruiser. Bruiser's like a big component, like all of us, a big component in my career. I mean, he's tell me how much my merch is stupid, but deep down, I think he has love for me and like love for all, like he does everyone else, and like always wants us to improve. Frank, Armani, I love like Armani kid. He's a talker, but what he tells is like very true. Like he's very, very smart at what he does. Thankful for the boys at camp and like out of everyone at camp. I think most thankful, obviously, for my tag partner Doc Simmons. I didn't have like the best first rookie year. I had times where I had some issues that won't be brought up, but like without Doc Simmons talking to me on the phone, and this is before Doc and I were like a legit tag team. Like this is when we were bouncing around doing singles and tag before everything else. Like Doc would pull me aside and be like, "Get out of your fucking head. You're gonna do this match. You're gonna be good. You're gonna show everyone why you belong." And like Doc would hit me up randomly on weeks and be like, "Hey, are you good? Hey, like, what's up?" Like, just being more than what a training partner would be, and that's why like that's a brother to me. Like, so it's truly grateful for my tag partner. Without him, like, I mean, obviously, Country Air would not be what we are today. Because it takes two of us to do that. But like Doc's like the strong backbone of the tag team. I might be the one that wears the heart on the sleeves, but Doc's like the more logical one and like tells me like how it is. Like, is this gonna make this? Should this really make you lose sleep? Probably not. But yeah, that's what I'm thankful for.
All righty. And Perch, what are you thankful for in wrestling?
Guys, I could say really just about the same as you guys. The upbringing that we have, the opportunities, the door that was opened for us to walk in and train when we first stepped foot into the Thumper's Den. Everybody around us from those days to hopping in the cars right away, to helping with every promotion that ever took a chance on us. To those days, heading to big time seminars and stuff, and thankful for every opportunity that we've ever gotten, earned and worked hard for, and every goal that we've ever set and every goal we've accomplished. And along the lines of everything that we've experienced, I would say I'm just as grateful for all the fans who have experienced those moments right there with us. Whether it's our first shows of all time or just last week, there's fans who have seen us from every step of the way, through pictures, through images, through shows. Some people have known us for several years. We are just the same in the way of we're fans, but we decided to get into the business. So the fact that we get to experience the love and the warmth and the connection from fans just the same, it's an awesome feeling, overwhelming feeling. And even, the first days we would ever venture to Zawa in Illinois, coming back the next time, there were people who were thankful, there were fans who remembered. To every Brew City show we've done, from working security to, carrying any of the various titles that you guys have had, or moments of matches that I've refereed. Every single fan who's ever experienced or ridden the wave with us, I'm grateful for. we love what we do, and it was our decisions to get into this business. But what I could have never seen coming was the love and connection from, fans and workers alike as well. But, the support from the fans is overwhelming. So to sum it up, I would say the love of the fans and everybody that we share the passion for pro wrestling with is what kind of continues to burn bright. It's like the fire burning that continues to light my spirit, to light my fire, to continue to keep a fire under my ass, realizing that if I slip up at any moment, it could all be gone. Grateful for the environments that we have in pro wrestling and for everybody that gets to experience it with us.
Yeah, definitely. Not possible without the love of the fans. Also, I would be remiss if I didn't say that I am thankful. I am still very thankful for everybody who chipped in that one time to get me 4 new sets of gear. Because of y'all, I can't quit this shit, I guess. So I got no choice but to make it. So thanks for putting that extra pressure on me. Really appreciate. But yeah, I don't think there's much more to say to that. I'm sure we're Midwesterners and we'll feel sad that we forgot to thank somebody. If we forgot you, don't take it personally. There's the number of people we can thank is if we were to go through one by one, it'd be a whole separate show. Maybe we'll do that one day. That could be fun. I wanted to do a post like that one day. So maybe we'll do a show like that one day where we just actually sit down and thank every single person. But as we're winding down, why don't we talk about what we got coming up this week? Perch, why don't you kick it off?
We got some big ones coming up this week and into next week. I can't even begin. We got some.
Yeah.
But start.
Snap, we might as well talk about next week too if you got something, because that show's going to come out after Thanksgiving. After shows from next week will probably happen. So if you want to talk about next week too, we can talk about that.
Yeah, so starting this week, we got Freelance Friday at Logan Square Auditorium on IWTV. That'll be this Friday night. Should be a fun time. The follow-up on the last show, which was a good return to Logan Square. On the 20th, we are back at Brew City Wrestling in Waukesha Elks Lodge. That's this Saturday. Really gonna enjoy it. Looking forward to being back with the home crew. And then Sunday out to Gali Lucha, which should be a really fun time. A great show. Stay tuned. That'll probably be on Facebook Live, I imagine. And then the next week on the Wednesday, Mondo Lucha returns to Turner Hall Ballroom. That's going to be a wild time, packed wall to wall, right in the heart of Milwaukee. Really looking forward to that show. Friday is AAW back in Chicago. The fallout from the Jim Lynam Memorial Tournament. We'll see what happens in this one, and that should be on Fight TV. And I think that's about it on my end.
All right. Zach, why don't we talk about what we got coming up?
Yes, sir. This weekend, light weekend in terms of wrestling, but not in terms of driving. We will be making our way down to Nashville, Tennessee for a Coastal Championship Wrestling Saturday, where we will be taking on TSF, or as I like to call them, those two stupid, you know the rest, in a country road street fight.
Yes, sir. Looking forward to this one. TSF got the underhand on us last time, but we are in our element this week. Should be another banger. Really looking forward to it. I enjoyed wrestling those guys last time. I'm going to really enjoy kicking their ass this time.
Yes, sir. We're going to show them why we are some of the best extremists, I guess you could say. We're not no we're not no strangers to violence. We were former ICW tag team champions. Like, we know what it takes to get a little violent, get a little deranged. So let the show that off.
Definitely. And then as for me, I also will be at Mondo Lucha on Wednesday. A rare time away from Zach. It'll be the return of Turbo Team at the return of Mondo Lucha to Turner Hall. Real excited about this one. We've had, Taco Fest is fun. Yeah, I can't overstate that enough. Love Taco Fest. Hope to keep doing that one. But having Mondo back home in Turner, being in front of those Mondo fans is just such a wonderful experience. I'm really looking forward to it. All right.
Wednesday is me just prepping to eat some turkey.
Hey, that's fine. That's fine. Turkey is great. I am sad that I'm actually kind of sad I will be wrestling instead of preparing food for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. For one love, I have to sacrifice another. First world problems.
Yes, sir.
All right. But I think unless anybody has anything else, Zach, do you have any final thoughts or questions?
Not really.
All right. Perch, final thoughts, questions?
In lieu of the wild matches that went on over the weekend, that were scenarios that, well, wouldn't necessarily have seen coming at any given time. Is there any match in particular that you would want to work? Not against anyone in particular, but any match style that you would like to work in particular, whether it's to learn the style or, better yourself to prepare. Even if it's a daunting one, that's like, I don't want to know how to work this kind of a match, but you do because you want to be good at it. So when your time is called, you're at least, better than you were when you first said, "Oh, I don't want to do that."
Yeah.
Is there any match?
Yeah, I mean, easily for me, especially after give a little teaser about the Ricky Marvin seminar. So I was there with ASF and Gringo Loco were there at the same time, and we're in one of the matches at the Nick Gage Invitational in the 6-man scramble, or it might have been a 7 or 8. So watching them go over some lucha stuff. I mean, I'm a huge Ricky Marvin fan. I definitely study him a lot and take some things from him. So I was probably super nervous and super shitty in front of him, but that's somebody that I take a lot of inspiration from. But to learn the lucha style is probably something that's next on my list. And even just talking with you, not even necessarily what I want to learn is a style of wrestling, but it's what you have been doing. Just getting better at communicating to people of other languages. That was something that I really took away from over the weekend with Takeda and Yamashita, watching them call matches in the back and how that communication is done. That is kind of what's more, I think, what I'm going to try to focus on coming up. I mean, it was one of those things where, like, luckily it was like I'm a fucking weeb and I know a little bit of Japanese. So when you were like asking for phrases, it was like, oh yeah, I can tell you how to say this and this. And like, I had some answers for that, but that also just opened my eyes to, I don't know, shit for Spanish. Talking to you made me think, it's like, okay, if I worked a Japanese wrestler, I can definitely make it through. I know, enough, I guess, decent conversation to be able to get through a match, but it's Spanish, not at all. So training Lucha Libre and probably being in like just having the more of the Spanish language around me. I did figure out how to say chest from that seminar because that was said a lot. Ricky Marvin was big on things towards the chest, I guess, things off the chest. So I did hear chest a lot, I noticed. So I'll try to remember that. But yeah, communication is just so important in wrestling, and getting better at that, I think it's probably going to be, I mean, it's something that I've been focused on, but as far as communicating with people who speak other languages, it's probably going to be something that I'm going to focus on a lot more from now on.
Hell yeah. No, that's awesome. And that's something that definitely, we don't necessarily see coming when we start wrestling, but it's certainly a byproduct when we dig into the weeds and really, really try and, understand it, understanding that it's not all just wrestling is wrestling. There's subcultures and actual human cultures that exist within genres of pro wrestling. And that's awesome. Yeah, to learn the language, to understand more of the theory or more of, the reasoning for it. Like Dave Schultz, the old wrestler for the Olympics, he would try and learn all the languages of everyone else, and not so he could necessarily hear the coaches talking, but so he could talk to the opponents after the match and understand the psychology and theory from their nationality, and so he could learn every style. So yeah, I think that's awesome. That's, strive for greatness kind of stuff. That's cool.
I mean, like I've said it before, why I'm into wrestling is not necessarily to get to one company or another. It's I want to wrestle everybody, because I think that would be, I want to have the most fun, and I think that would be the most fun. And at some point, I'm going to have to learn some other languages. So why not start now?
Yeah, that's awesome. Going back to the thankful for the Unicorns brothers.
Yeah,
helping teach me Spanish. I'm sure if you see them, they would be talk to Jonathan. He'd be happy to start you off on some
I did. They too were at the Ricky Marvin camp. They stopped by, got to say what's up to them. It was good to see them at the Nick Gage Invitational. Those are all good homies. Unicorns for life.
Absolutely. Zach, is there a style of match or any match type in particular that you would want to work on to better yourself?
The other day, I mean, I would like to learn the lucha style as well. Like I know the Caribbeans talked to me a lot about it. The tag style seems a little different, so it'd be fun to learn that style, especially like trying to diverse your arsenal. I also would like to work. I don't think it gets used often, but like those Iron Man matches, I love to work matches going 30 plus minutes, 30 to 60 minutes, just to learn your pace, learn your style. I feel like if you did a 60-man Iron Man match, learning how to keep the crowd engaged, figuring out all those different tricks that you gotta stay at a good pace. Omega, people can talk bad about him if they want, but best bout machines, not a joke. Him and Okada put on those bangers, and all their matches were very long, and there was never really a dead moment. There was always you were engaged, and I guess I would like to learn those type of style matches where 10 to 15 is always fun, but learning how to keep the crowd fully engaged for an hour long would be very fun and challenging.
I could not agree more. That is I always feel lucky that I haven't had to do an Iron Man match yet. Because that is one that I feel is people shit on them a lot, but that one has got to be hard.
Oh
yeah.
Even 60 minutes alone, to have the endurance for it is something else, let alone telling a story.
Yeah, for 60 minutes, keeping your head right for 60 minutes, it's a pedestal I hope to reach one day, but it just seems so far right now.
Yeah, no, that's cool. The endurance and the perseverance, and it's our sport different than any other sport. It's not like we run a marathon or something. However, the accomplishment and the sense of reward after running a marathon, it'd be like setting your goals for wanting to work a match like that, and the rewarding feeling you'd eventually get when it's accomplished, win or lose. If you're able to tell a story and engage a crowd for 60 minutes, I mean that's something that you can be happy with. I think that would be a cool one to be able to have at any given notice, like a Josh Alexander.
Yeah.
We're gonna need 60 out of you tonight. But all right.
That's the thing. And that's the thing. I'd love to have that confidence to go up to a promoter or a ref, like, this is what we're gonna need this much time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've
And
done.
that's the thing. I don't feel confident going to anybody saying I need 15 minutes, though that's what I usually need.
There was a time, I won't say what, but like Doc knows the situation. We were like in a big cluster match, and we asked the promoter how much time do we need, how much time he wants. He said 5 to 7, and like you just tell by the look on my face, it was just like, he's like, what were you thinking? I was like, hopefully 10. He's like, yeah, we can do 10. We can do 10. 10 works. It was like, but that was like bare minimum. It was like,
Yeah.
all the moving components. I was like, 5 to 7, like that means like half the match.
And it was 5 to 7 with entrances.
Yeah.
So
it was just one of those, like, I guess like none of it, only like some people are getting stuff, the rest are standing on the apron.
yeah. So yeah, that was the one time, but even then, like, yeah, I had Zach do that. So thankful for you, Zach, again.
I'm here for you.
Yeah. So hopefully, yeah, that things that I hope to work on. Asking for more time, that would be great.
Have a match where you do go 60, and then the crowd's yelling 5 more minutes.
I know.
And then you get it. And there you go. That could happen straight up. More time.
No, that's the thing. But see, it's. I don't think it's wrong if the crowd asks for it. If the crowd asks for it, we're all in the wrestling business. We're here for the crowd. If the crowd wants it, I don't think there's any issue with it. But if I want it, if I want that extra 5, if I want, that was the thing. He told us 5 to 7. That was, for me, I'm like, this is definitely not enough. How do we tell this person that, and that was the other thing. They talked to us before. It's like, hey, we're putting you in this match because we want you to general it. Well, you're not giving us enough to work with 5 to 7 minutes.
And us being like, they get like kind of like we were the veterans of the match. It was kind of like, I looked at Doc and I was like, we probably just cut our shit out then. And like I walked to Doc and I was like, hey, at minimum, what do we need?
Yeah.
It was one of those like, all right, at minimum, what would we need?
So yeah, that's something that I could work on. I mean, and me and Zach kind of talked about this earlier. I mean, it's not really a style, but it's just the business in general. Speaking up. You have a very small voice in wrestling when you start, and getting the confidence and having the respect for people to listen when you speak up is a hard thing to come by. And I really hope that we work on that as we continue on for all of us.
Agreed.
Yeah. But if anything,
mine would be 2 out of 3 falls matches.
That's a good one too.
Match style that I've worked a couple of times. However, one time was really well built in a storyline, and it was a tag team match. The besties in the world against Madman and Ace. Just the good bad guys versus good guys over the tag team titles. First fall, very definitive. Second fall led to the fire, coming from under. And it ended with the third fall being, enough to tell the story. However, I was left wanting more. 2 out of 3 falls matches are in old school, style was much more common. But nowadays,
still common in Lucha Libre, I believe.
Yeah. And in those cases, sometimes a captain has to get a pin, or it negates it if the captain doesn't get the third pin. They had different styles.
Yeah.
But
Lucha's got rules.
But 2 out of 3 falls is probably my biggest one that I like to intrigue and want to learn and have more experience with. And maybe one day a 2 out of 3 falls where it's like that classic 3 stages of hell, the
Yep.
ultimate 2 out of 3 falls count match. I think that's up there for my holy grails. Would be like
Gonna put over my favorite, I guess, 3 stages of hell match, and that would be AR Fox versus Shane Strickland, or otherwise known as, I believe he was Dante Fox, and Killshot in Lucha Underground. They had a 3 stages of hell match that was beautiful.
That's like I'm saying, just the subtleties of a 2 out of 3 falls match. I want to continue to get more experience. So then one day when the straw is pulled, where it's extreme 3 stages of hell, whatever stages they are, I want to be there and I want to be prepared. And I'll think about this podcast right here, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, just working to get better at everything. We all have our goals. But if nobody has anything else, I guess we'll just go ahead and take it on home. All right, be sure to like and subscribe, hit up all our social media pages, stay in contact with us, see what we're doing. And for everybody out there, be easy. 1.